You got these pictures.
Hello, unity in Greensboro. Let us let the Spirit of God, the Spirit of love, come up through us to us. I have told him I release him to let him work through me. I have told him he can use me to be what he wants me to be. I'm expecting, not rejecting, that I'll have the victory. It's coming up through me to be is my God. Coming up through me to be every little thing I need to know. Coming up through me to be everything I need to help me grow. All I have to do is try. I can fly, I can fly, I can fly. It's coming up through me to be. It's my God. I'm excited, I'm ignited with this fire in my soul. I'm adoring and enjoying as my Father takes control. I can't measure such a pleasure. It's too wonderful, you see. It's coming up through me to me. It's my God. Coming up through me to me. Every little thing I need to know. Coming up through me to me. Everything I need to help me grow. All I have to do is try. I can fly, fly, fly. It's coming up through me to me. Is my God.
We want to welcome everyone Zooming with us this morning and Facebooking and YouTubing. It's wonderful to have this time to connect in spirit. Let us pray together. First, let's take some deep, holy breaths. Calm our minds. Sweet, sweet Spirit, meld our hearts as one today. Remind us as we stroll the earth that we're one with Spirit. We're not only one with Spirit, we're one with one another. Remind us that when we forget this notion, we feel separate and alone. We forget our oneness with you, God, everyone and everything that makes up our earth. Remind us, we are as one in every way. We are pure and holy, made of God's stuff. We come together to feed our souls. Let us leave full, souls filled with the love of God and the love of each other. Because we are comprised of God, our essence enfolds the Spirit of God. Every place we go, we spread holiness by showing our love, our kindness, our concern for our fellow travelers. We know that all is well today and every day. We never fear what is to come because we live in this moment, in this time, knowing that there is nothing to fear moving forward. We release concern of judgment. We express gratitude for each person present and those with us in spirit who have formed and made this church what it is until now. We go forward as one holy body, intertwined in the Spirit of God. Thank you for each person present, every living soul on this earth. And so it is.
Good morning. Now is a great time to invite your loved ones to check us out. Take a moment to share our stream on Facebook and YouTube. Liking, sharing, and subscribing are ways that you can let people you know are a loving part of a wonderful community. Now we are going to take a moment for everyone on Zoom to unmute and say hi and greet one another. If you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, go ahead and post a greeting, please.
Good morning.
Hi,
Good morning.
Good morning.
Hi.
Good morning.
Hi,
Prayer, Anita.
Good morning, Chip.
Hey.
Hello, everybody.
How are you, my friend?
Hi, Suki.
Hi,
Good
Wally.
morning.
Hey, Suki.
Morning.
Hi, Anita.
Hey, Nana.
Hey, Wally.
Hi,
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 Donna.
Shirley and Marian.
Hey, Bobby.
Morning.
Charlotte. Hey, Dawn.
Hello.
Hi
Hey
there.
there.
I see a new face on there, or at least to me, Light.
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 Hi.
Hi there.
I'm
Miriam.
Catherine O'Shea's mother.
Oh, awesome.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
here to play today. That's my mom.
Oh.
Welcome.
Okay.
Good morning also
Hi,
to LD.
Jubilee.
Jubilee,
Barbara.
everybody. I love you.
Hi, Jubilee.
I see
Thank
you.
you for sending me that love of your heart.
Hey, Jubilee, I love
Hi,
you.
Joe and Shirley.
Hey. Hey, Joe White.
Hey, Danelle.
Yeah.
Morning.
Oh, yeah. Hi, Joe. Hi, Joe.
Good morning,
Shirley,
guys.
Shirley, too.
Morning again. Now, if you join me in reading this month's affirmations, Chris puts them up on the screen. All that I do in love. I am in the flow and at one with the divine. And now we'll have our call to worship song performed by our very own Marian Spruill. Yay.
Trying to get all this set up a little bit. Love is my decision. It's up to me to give up my heart. Love is my decision. No one else can tell me to start. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to stand on that bridge. Love is my decision. No one else can make me forgive. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. Love is my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. 'Cause love is my decision. decision, my decision right here and now. Love is my decision. It's up to me to dance down that road. Love is my decision. No one else can lighten my load. And once I decide to change my mind, God will show me how. 'Cause love is my decision right here and now. My decision right here and now.
Oh, Marian, that was beautiful. Thank you for singing for us. Chris, if you'll put up the unity principles and we'll read the unity principles together. There is only one ultimate power in the universe. That power is God, and its nature is absolute, unchanging good. Human beings were created from absolute good, and so our inherent nature is also good. We call the inherent goodness of human beings the Christ. Our thoughts are our creative power. Whatever we persistently focus our thoughts and feelings upon manifests in our lives. Prayer and meditation are essential elements of spiritual life because they focus our thoughts on our oneness with God and all creation. It is not enough to know the truth. We must put that truth into action in our lives. We must live the truth we know. And this week we'll have our Lent reading with Linda Dunn.
Good morning, everybody. So Lent began this past week with Ash Wednesday. It is a 40-day period that represents a conscious release of what no longer serves us so that we may discover new ways to live our happiest and best life. Today, we do that by reading the first Beatitude and its metaphysical meaning. So this is our introduction to the Sermon on the Mount, which we're going to be focusing on in the next few weeks. Now, when Jesus saw the crowds, he went up on a mountainside and sat down. His disciples came to him, and he began to teach them. He said, "Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven." Now, when we focus our thinking on our spiritual truth, then we are on the mountainside. The Christ mind, which is our true self, helps us to learn to use our 12 powers in everyday living. When this beatitude says, "Blessed are the poor in spirit," it is referring to releasing our personal consciousness so that we can live out our spiritual nature more fully. When we are doing that, we are truly owning our kingdom of heaven, which is the realm of our divine ideas. And when we allow ourselves to be guided by our divine ideas, there is only room for thoughts that serve our highest good. So take some time to listen to your inner spirit this week.
I'm the prayer chaplain on duty today, and no matter what you're growing through, I would be honored to pray with you. Prayer requests can be sent through the UIG website, prayer requests at the top of the page, the weekly newsletter prayer request link, and email. You can email it to prayersfromuig@gmail.com. Together, let us affirm that our loved ones are whole, perfect, and complete. We stand with them knowing that God is already actively working in partnership with each person to grow through the appearance of challenges. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. I invite the congregation to think of someone they would like to send blessings to. Together, we affirm that God is actively working with them and Bobby Rebeck's mother, Patricia McGregor, Bridson McGregor, Noah McGregor, Mary Margaret Daltrich, Lori Dishman, Billy Smothers, Martha Ferdinand. And so it is.
Our announcements for today. Healing Through Laughter, February 24th at 7 to 8:30 p.m. Dr. Mitch Bloom will be zooming in from New Zealand to lead his workshop. Please support Mitch's gift to us by attending and inviting others. Membership class. If you want to join but weren't able to attend the membership class, Reverend Wally has made materials available to you to self-study on your own. Simply email reverendwallywhite@gmail.com. The UIG Board of Trustees, if you are willing to run for the UIG Board of Trustees, please contact Jennifer Duncan. The election will be March 7th at the annual meeting, so we need applicants as soon as possible. UIG is a fast and easy and secure way to tithe. One way is to text GIVE at 336-600-1064 and follow the prompts. We got little buttons on all the emails and on the website, so it's easy to find some place to give. I'd like to welcome our special music today. It's by Catherine O'Shea. There is a unique dynamic going on in the music of Asheville, North Carolina. Singer-songwriter Catherine O'Shea, as the Greenville Journal puts it, Catherine released her debut studio album last year titled January 9th, which the Mountain Express aptly described as a warm, intimate collection of tunes. Encore magazine echoed feelings of warmth, saying the song felt as if they were meant for sitting by the fire on a cold, rainy day. Since the pandemic arrived, Catherine has turned her attention towards fostering intimate online connection with her audience via Patreon, an online crowdfunding platform that allows artists to exchange new creations and behind-the-scenes content for monthly donations as low as $1. Every month, she offers her subscribers private live stream concerts, interviews with special guests, video releases, poetry and musings, and hyper-vulnerable peeks into her artistic process. Find out more at Patreon, patreon.com/Catherine O'Shea Music, and that's Catherine, Kathryn. Thank you, Catherine, for being here with us today.
Thank you.
Please welcome everyone, Catherine O'Shea.
Thank you all so much. It's I was telling Wally and let's see, Bob, is that your name?
Yes,
I'm learning. Bobby, there we go. I was telling both of them before this that it's really just exceptionally lovely to have a gig at all right now. It's been a really tough year as a musician, so I mean it from the bottom of my heart when I say thank you for having me here. All right, yeah, this song is called Dandelion, and it's one of my originals, and it is on the record that Bobby was just mentioning, January 9th. And let's see, can everybody hear the guitar okay? Okay, great. Got a lot of nodding faces. Daddy only ever cut the grass 'cause he liked the smell. He said the weeds could grow up to our hips. He He'd be just as happy to watch the wildflowers blooming all around the world. Nobody likes the HOA. Nobody wants to spend their day cutting down the violets in between those blades of grass. So why don't we stop pretending summer is never ending? And remember, season's always, always gonna pass. And I know people always change, and I know that nothing ever stays the same. And I know that dandelions gotta blow away in the wind. But I can't think of a prettier day than the one we're in. Oh no. Now Daddy only ever raked the leaves so I could have a cushy place to jump on in. Said there's no use in trying to take a stand. The leaves are fine right where they land. Don't you know, kid, nature's always gonna win. Nobody wants to rake their yard. Nobody wants to work so hard just to shovel against a rising tide. So why don't we just stick to what we know? Leave the leaves out for the snow and watch the seasons turn while we stay bundled up inside. And I know people always change, and I know that nothing ever stays the same. And I know that dandelions gotta blow away in the wind. But I can't think of a prettier day than the one we're in. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. No. Now Daddy said he wanted to wait to go till he saw the mountains blossom again. And come April, Daddy made like a dandelion and he blew away in the springtime wind. And you can't blame a person for knowing what they're holding on to. And you can't blame a person for knowing when they're through. Now I never knew if Daddy knew just what he was talking about. But now I can see he's joined those autumn leaves and made his way back to the ground. And I'm still working on what I believe. Yeah, but I know I'll never waste a second raking autumn leaves. No, because I know people always change, and I know that nothing ever stays the same. And I know that dandelions gotta blow away in the wind. But I still can't think of a prettier day than the one we're in.
That was so wonderful. Thank you so much,
Thank
Catherine.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Welcome to Unity in Greensboro. You are now officially family. And,
Beautiful.
And so you all know, like, the only good reason to have her here is because she's an amazing musician, but she's also a PK, a preacher's kid, and she grew up in Unity. So we thank Miranda for making the introduction, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you all.
Yeah. All right, let's, if we will, let's take a moment to kind of find our prayerful position, whatever's comfortable for you, and close your eyes if that's comfortable for you. Just taking this moment to focus and prepare ourselves so that we may hear what it is we need to hear in this moment, that My prayer is, regardless of what words come out of my mouth, that you hear and are inspired on your path, on your journey to do what it is you are working on. And we do that by simply breathing in and breathing out, and recognizing the power of God that is within us, flowing through us, to us, for us, and as us. That in all that we do, we are working in partnership with the Creator of all, and we are one with that. We are creators. We give thanks for this day, for these people, for this church, and for our inspirations as we move along in life. And so it is, and amen. So today, our lesson is called "My Steps Are Guided." And Chris, do you have the circle of prayer graphic? We kind of always send it to Chris, and sometimes I ask for it and sometimes I don't. So as you all know, 2021 is the year that we are making dreams come true. And we are doing it by using this inspiration of the circle of prayer. And we looked at desire in January, and this month we are looking at decision. And as we go along making our dreams come true, we make decisions, and then we ask and we love and we exercise our faith. And then we use that faith, that guidance that we're going to talk about today, to choose what to work on and to focus our thoughts on and to speak on. And then most importantly, talking can be about 1/3 and listening can be at least 2/3, right? And then we accept, we make disposition, we rest, and then we have that dream come true and we roll right into making the next one. This is an ongoing process that we will do over and over. So thanks, Chris. You can take that back down. So in looking at decision, part of what comes up is like, all right, we've looked at our desires. We've kind of picked what our special desire is that we feel called to really work on, that means a lot to us. And now we're going to make decisions about that. And we've been invited to make our plans larger, because if God is your partner, then you can make your plans larger. You can reach outside your comfort zone, right? And then once you say, okay, I'll accept the invitation of reaching outside my comfort zone, what so easily comes up is, well, I don't know how to do this thing that I've now set myself on the path to do. And so sometimes you'll be like, well, I don't know. And so as I thought of that, what the phrase that came to me is, my steps are guided. The key to using guided steps is that listening part, is taking time for prayer, and then, so most importantly, the meditation of where you just get quiet and you listen, because God is talking to us all day, every day. God is an active part of us, right? Our Christ mind is literally what gives our bodies life as we exercise this human experience. So we're having communication all the time, but at some point when we stop and we listen, especially when we've said, I feel guided down this path outside my comfort zone, or maybe not, maybe it's completely in your comfort zone. Maybe your comfort zone is being uncomfortable. What do I know? But so it's taking that time to say, okay, I'm in an area where if I just go on the books I've read in my life so far and the experience I've had so far, I don't readily have the information of what it is to do next, right? And yet, if you will stop and listen and allow yourself to be guided, and right? If there's a feeling of love and excitement in it, then you're hearing that spiritual truth from within you. Now, if that excitement is, oh, I got to get this done really quickly before it's too late, it's already too late if you think that, right? Because now you're sliding back into the ego talking to you versus God. God is timeless, so it's not too late ever, right? There's examples of people who became famous really late in life doing what it was that they loved. It's never too late. So that was the whole point of putting today together. And when I go and look at Bible verses, usually, I like to look at the whole story involved around those so that we can really look into the metaphysics of it. And so as naturally as I say, oh yeah, I never read just a Bible verse, I go into the whole story. I'm going to start by reading a few Bible verses to you first. And then we're going to talk the stories, but there are a few that I just wanted to read because they all help lead us and guide us in that way of allowing our steps to be guided, right? John 16:13 says, but when he, the Spirit of truth, comes, he will guide you into all the truth. Proverbs 16:9 says, in their hearts, humans plan their course, but the Lord establishes their steps. Psalms 119, verse 105, your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. The your in that is the human speaking to God, right? I love this one a lot. I'm going to say it again. Your word is a lamp for my feet, a light on my path. But you only get that word by listening, right? Some could say, oh no, you can just crack open the Bible and read, that's the word, right? It's like, even when you're reading, if you're not mentally listening, you're just reading words, right? So it's about listening so that you can light that path. And here's the thing, we all have a multitude of paths in front of us every day. We can choose which path to go on. And the end result is, here's the end story for all of us. You win. You're one with God. It all works out eventually. Some people just choose a rockier path. So when we're standing there saying, all right, what path do I go on today? I sure would like to choose the most direct, easiest path. How do I find it? Well, it turns out the word is the lamp for my feet, and it turns on that. So there you have that. And lastly, in just reading verses to you, Proverbs 3, verses 5 and 6. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. Now, we New Thought students don't like that submitting to anybody thing. But this is saying, look, I know where to trust, and I know that I can trust. And if I don't know it, I'm willing to give it a shot of testing it out and seeing, right? Don't do any of this stuff because I tell you or because you read it in another book. I don't care how much you trust the author. Don't believe it just because somebody told you. Check it out. Try it. See what works for you, because I can tell you things that work well for me and they may not work exactly right for you. You've got to find the essence of it will still be true, even if your path is slightly different than mine. If we all chose one path, if there was only one path to do it, then we would only need one human being. We all wouldn't be necessary. And we know that it's right for us to all find our own route to do it. We were told right here, we all got our own fingerprints. We're all individuals. We're all one, and we're all individuals. And so because that is the natural essence of living, I believe that both are true and good. And so then it's like, all right, well, let's go down my own path. Let's find my own way. That's why all of us have different dreams. Even if 3 of us on here say, well, my dream right now is I want to manifest a new car. And that's a dream worthy of this spiritual exercise, because I've never felt I could even own a new car. So this is me expanding beyond, right? So let's say 3 people and you say, oh, well, see, everybody's dream's not the same. I guarantee you those 3 aren't looking for the exact same car. And if they want the same model, they don't want the same color, right? Everybody has their own thing within it. And we're all we're working in partnership with God. We're also working in partnership with each other. That's where, when like minds come together, we empower each other in this and saying, I can do this, right? And I'll tell you before I get into the couple of Bible stories here, you know, another part of it is things are going good. And then at some point, there's going to be some hiccups in it. And it's like, well, but wait, I'm working my spiritual principles. And I know I was working them because all this unexpected stuff and everything was so good. What did I do wrong? Nothing. maybe you took your eye off the prize for a minute, but that's not wrong either, because then there's a lesson in it. Oh, I want to stay focused on this thing, right? So I'll tell you for myself, this past week, feeling good, feeling like I've really kind of opened myself up to prosperity. And as we talked last week, when people say that word, many think that I'm just saying money. That's the after effect. The true prosperity is knowing that God is my source and my supply. And I'm feeling like, okay, all is feeling good. And honestly, in this moment, it was a little bit of a money thing. It's like, all right, there's more money in my account than I need to pay the bills that are right there. I can kind of look at my list of some other things I've put off because, maybe I can do this stuff. And then suddenly I go to pick up my accountant's done with my taxes, and I get called to come get them. And I'm like, well, let's go find out how much extra money I'm getting. None. I owe. And it's going to take a big chunk of that money that I'm like, I can kind of treat myself and do something special. Well, now I get to treat myself by giving the money to the government, and which is fine too, because I enjoy the roads that I get from, I enjoy. And then look, I'll turn the camera. This is always dangerous. That TV right there, it's mounted to the back of a shelf. And so the arm, I don't think that's exactly the right word, that it's connected to is stretched all the way out just to get it beyond the shelf, which means it was hard to install. And the other morning I thought, whenever I have to switch that TV out, I don't even know if I can get it out of there. Hours later, the TV stopped working. Now I have to get it out of there because I watch a lot of TV, so I can't have a non-working TV. So what? And so now I'm going to go buy a new TV. Well, that's going to cost a couple of $100, probably $300. And so it's like, so suddenly I'm like, well, I guess I don't get to go to that other list. I'm going to, and it's like, all right. And I took the moment. I'm like, oh, see, it's happening. Now you can either get on this path of being like, well, what's wrong? Well, now I'm mad because I'm spending in the unexpected place and I don't get to play with the money right. And it's like, stop and breathe. Because if I truly believe, if I'm not lying, and I say that prosperity is truly believing and living in God is my source and my supply, I can pay for these new unexpected things, and there will be some other way to play with the other list too. Is it going to happen today? Maybe not, but it will happen. And when I believe the timeless part of it, right, I can ease up on myself. And once you ease up, then you open up to hear. See, if you're tight like that, you can't hear because you're too focused on the other, right? So relaxing allows you to hear. It is a still small voice that God will never yell at you. I had someone recently said that they felt in a meditation that the message they got was just kind of a yelling at them. And it's like, and I said, well, look, God's a still small voice. God's not yelling at you, but God will communicate with us in the way that we're able to hear it. So, and so if, I won't even tell you some of the words that come up in my messages to God because, I say words off the pulpit that I don't say on it. And so sometimes those words come in my godly messages too, because that's the way I communicate. So I get the message the way that I communicate. Right. And that's true for all of us. So don't say, oh, no, God would never say that word. A word is a word. It's more important on what it means to you. God cares about that. Right. So and I talk about God suddenly as it's this separate individual. That's our collective consciousness, our oneness. God is not an old white man sitting on a cloud somewhere. If he was and we saw him, we'd all run. Right. We would all have cellars so we could run and hide because it would scare the bejesus out of us. Right. So anyway, I go off course a little bit. I do want to say before I go on this too, is that in that communication, understand that as you really practice the listening, you will open up to hearing it more and more. There is a filter that we all have from our own perspectives. And if you thought of something streaming out, we all watch streaming stuff now for the most part, right? And it can stream in the most beautiful, clear, high definition, everything, right? And that's what's streaming out. But if you have, I don't think these even really exist for people anymore. And if they do, you wouldn't be able to stream on them. But if you have a black and white TV, then you can still only see, no matter what's coming out, you can still only see through the filter you're plugged into. And so, and it's not to say it's bad to be plugged in, right where you are right now is perfect. And there's still the opportunity to grow into enjoying more and more and more. So quickly, what I want to touch on is when I started looking in these verses, the first place I was drawn to is Isaiah. And Isaiah represents our higher self, our spiritual understanding. And so when we look at spiritual understanding, the two verses that came out of Isaiah is first in 30:21, where it says, whether you turn to the right or to the left, your ears will hear a voice behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it. And in Isaiah 58:11, it says, Lord will guide you always. He will satisfy your needs in a sun-scorched land and will strengthen your frame. You will be like a well-watered garden, like a spring whose water never failed. That's your spiritual, that's coming from your spiritual understanding. It's like the answer is there. I don't care if you're in the middle of a desert, you can be a well-watered garden. In fact, you are a well-watered garden, and you also have the capability of being the dry desert. It's all within our own consciousness. If you feel like you're trapped in the desert, stop and listen and connect, because you are always connected to the well-watered garden of yourself as well. So those moments are always there. It's not wrong to be wherever you are. It's just wrong to believe that you're trapped, because you never are. You can always knock on that next door. See, I'm slipping into next month's lessons when we talk about knocking and the door will answer, right? And then, so the last part I wanted to touch on too is then in the book of John is where we got lessons on, and it came back to the spiritual understanding, because when that search came, it went to Thomas coming to ask the question. Well, Thomas represents our spiritual understanding. Thomas represents, he's the disciple that represents our gift of understanding. And it comes in the book of John, which represents our love. So this is coming as a truly loving message to you. And that's where Thomas said, Lord, so Jesus had said he's preparing them all. They've had their last supper. He's washed their feet. He's preparing them. I'm getting ready to hop up on the cross and get out of here, and I'm going to prepare a place for you. My Father has many homes, right? Many rooms in the mansion. And so you'll come. And Thomas says, Lord, we don't know where you are going, so how will we know the way? Jesus' answer was, I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. If you really know me, you will know my Father as well. From now on, you will know him and have seen him. Now, let's be clear. That's a story about some humans talking about some other humans, but we're looking at this from our own consciousness. That Father is simply the creative nature that is within us. And Jesus was speaking through the Christ voice, which that's simply the God self of us living out into our human experience. So when it's saying, what's the way? It's like, I'm the way. If you will listen to your Christ mind and let God live out into whatever it is you're doing. In our case, let God live out into creating these dreams, or just creating a happy day. It's like, I can't even give time to a dream right now. I just want to sit down and rest for a moment. Okay, live God out into that so that you can have that truly peaceful, quiet moment. Know that it is always available to you, always. There can be a really loud room of people, and if you tap into that place, you don't have to listen to any of them, right? You can have your moment of silence in a loud space if that's what's required in the moment. God is available to all of us all the time, all day, every day. You don't have to earn it. You don't have to prove yourself worthy. You just have to say, I'm listening, and get quiet. And if you've not well practiced in the listening and being quiet, stuff's going to come in. And you just say, thanks, not right now. I'm being quiet. And you practice that. And you may have to practice it for days or weeks or months before you really get into that place. And let me tell you from experience, if you've found your way into that place and then you stop doing it for days or weeks or months, you're going to have to work it back again. It's just like going to the gym. You don't get to go once and say, I've worked out for a lifetime. You worked out for that day. And so it's the same thing in listening, so that we stay in touch, so that we stay in that energy that will help us live our highest and best lives. And what I've started saying is our happiest and best lives, which I think really means the same thing as highest, but highest suddenly sounds like, oh, that sounds like work. I got to get to the highest. I got to climb a mountain. Now I got to do work. It's like, just be happy, and just be happy and find something to be happy about. I was listening to Abraham Hicks this morning. I think I listened to 3 or 4 of the ones on YouTube. And it was like, just take that moment to think of someone that you can love easily. And often that turns out not to be a human being, because we're complicated. Often it will be your furry animals, right? Because that's unconditional love, or maybe it's a baby. And just take a moment to just think about why you love them and what you enjoy about the love you get from them. And suddenly, all the crap that was going on, you release it. Take those times and accept that your dreams are coming true. That's really step number 1. That's really in step number 2 of making the decision. That's really your first decision to make, is that it is happening. I don't care what the outside is telling me. I don't care if my dream is working in a sunny field and it's raining today. My dream is happening because I am working with a creator that creates everything. So that is the message today. Seek your spiritual understanding. Know that it is yours to be had at all times. I love you. I bless you. I behold the Christ in you. And I thank you all for being here today. And so now is our time to give to our church. And so if you're prepared to give now, you can keep us on and click your buttons. There's a donate button on Facebook and on our website, and the text to give, Chris can put that up so you get the phone number. You can do that while you literally text the word give to this phone number, 336-600-1064. And however you're prepared to give, I invite you to either, if you have it with you, you can place it in your hand so that you cup it and give it some gentle love, or I invite you to place your hands on your heart, knowing that you're supporting our community together as we say this prayer. Chris is putting it up. There we go. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive, and I am grateful. And now I'm very grateful to invite Catherine back to sing another beautiful song for us.
Wow, that was lovely. It's been a long time since I've gone to Unity. I'm sure you can understand how it goes. Growing up as a preacher's kid, you might need some space after a while. So church is more of a rarity for me these days, but gosh, it's nice to be here. And I must say that I sort of did this on purpose, but it's just really lining up perfectly, your message and this song that I'm about to play. This song is one that I wrote recently, and it's all about, I just moved into my own place for the first time, and so I've got my own apartment, and I've been kind of figuring out just how to walk towards my dreams, and how to walk towards a life as a musician, and it's a life that I totally don't know how to create. And so I'm sort of in this space right now of just keeping faith and being open to receiving the how and understanding that that'll come when it needs to. And as long as I wake up every day and remember what I love and remember what I care about and keep walking towards those things, the rest will become apparent. So this one's called So Far. So far, I've got the curtains hung up, and the cross stitch my mom made is hanging at my bed. Well, so far, I've got pillows and a blanket, and I'm making a cozy place to rest my head. Maybe I'll get myself some plants. Maybe I'll teach myself to dance. Maybe I'll get a little stronger. Maybe I'll write to a younger me and tell her she's right where she should be. Tell her that she doesn't have to pretend to be perfect any longer. Each day is a new beginning. Mama told me so. Mama told me so. Each day is a new beginning. Mama told me so. Mama told me so. Well, Brinkley says that I might just not know what on earth is happening to me. But funny enough, something tells me that's not gonna do a thing to stop all of these waves from rising in the sea. Oh no, we're riding on the backs of years gone by, and I'm crying for all the things I took so long to try. So now I've got to get myself some plants, and I've got to teach myself to dance. But I can feel it, I'm already getting stronger, 'cause I write letters to a younger me, and I tell her I'm everything I'm meant to be, and I tell her that she doesn't have to pretend to be perfect any longer. Each day is a new beginning. Mama told me so. Mama told me so. Each day is a new beginning. Mama told me so. Mama told me so. So far, I've got the dishes cleaned off. Oh, and as for the trinkets that I have carried all these years, so far I've been wiping them down one by one, and they don't seem to be what they appear. So now I've got to get myself some plants, and I've got to teach myself to dance. But I can tell you I'm already getting stronger, 'cause I wrote letters to a younger me, and I told her I'm everything she dreamed she'd be, and I told her that she doesn't have to pretend she can be perfect any longer. Each day is a new beginning. Mama told me so. Mama told me so. Each day is a new beginning. Mama told me so. Mama told me so. Each day is a new beginning. Mama told me so. Mama told me so. Feel free to sing that with me. Each day is a new beginning. Mama told me so. Mama told me so. One more time. Each day is a new me so. Mama told me so.
Wow, Catherine, that was beautiful. Thank you for being with us today. I loved both songs. They were great.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. This has been a delight. Thank you all
And
so much.
hey, I want to express gratitude for Wally, because how many ministers would get up there and say, and he's going to hop up on the cross and get out of here. That was perfect. I'd like to bless the tithes and offerings now. We affirm our gratitude with all the many blessings in our lives and in our church. We realize that focusing on the good brings more good. We open our earthly experience to all the wonders that the universe has to offer. We choose the right and proper life path that leads us to our highest good. We propel ourselves forward bravely, even when we're haunted by the past and uncertain of the future. We know that we are never alone. The Spirit of God manifests itself through each of us in every moment. May the words spoken here today accompany you with your every interaction while being our highest, best selves. And so it is. Amen.
And so it is. Thank you all for being here. For any of you who don't know, and we'll make sure to get it over on Facebook too. Somehow I'll copy and paste, or Catherine, when we're done, if you pop on our Facebook page to put that same link. Chip asked Catherine in the chat how to buy her CD, or CD may be the old person term now, but how to buy her music. And she gave us the link there. We'll make sure that we have it on Facebook and on YouTube as well. So thank you so much for being with us and gifting us with your music today. And thank you all for being with us, whether you're with us here on Zoom, where we get to see all the lovely faces immediately, and some of the other ways. I just want to remind you of coming up this week. Mitch, many of you know Mitch Bloom, Dr. Mitch Bloom. He wrote a book called The Ho-Ho Holiest Medicine, and it's about healing through laughter. Mitch is living in Auckland, New Zealand now. He's 18 hours ahead of us, but taking the time to Zoom in to do this workshop for us. So I urge you to please honor that gift and be there when he does it. It will be on Wednesday night from 7 to 8:30, and it's called Healing Through Laughter. So, and he's doing, when I asked what would be your charge for a workshop, he said, no charge from me. You know, he asked that people buy his book, but you can buy it electronically for $3 on Amazon. And then he said, you know, any love offerings could go to the church. So he really is gifting us. So I hope that we will honor him with attendance for that. And then next week, the title of our lesson is called What God Has Joined Together. And yes, that is often used to talk about marriage between people. That may come up, but we will mostly be talking about the marriage between ourselves and our dreams, or ourselves and our ideas, ourselves and our feelings. That is a true marriage, because you can't even divorce most of those, right? And then Amy and Tal will be our musicians next week. And so we're about to wrap up, and we will be doing the adult ed sponsors our conversation with the minister immediately following here on Zoom. It should be good. I can tell you that there are things that I did not cover that I have notes on, so those usually come up there. So hang with us if you want for that. For now, let us say the prayer for protection, and then we will unmute and greet each other. For now, the light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And so it is. So we'll say goodbye to Facebook and YouTube, and invite everyone here on Zoom to unmute and greet one another.